so sorry, my hands are cold.
No, it's okay.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be playing with my cousin's hair. Beforehand, I had tried to look up different hairstyles, and of course, I forgot how to do some of them, so kind of just improvised and retried occasionally. But either way, I hope you enjoy some hair play on a new person on the channel. Now this is going to be the soft-spoken version, as you probably noticed. But if you prefer the no-talking version, then you can find that on my channel, or if I've gotten the chance to link it in the description or in the comments, you can also find it there. So, this weekend actually, my cousin will be coming back and we will be filming again. So I am hoping to do another hairplay video as well as possibly something else. I have to see what she's interested in doing, but hopefully we will have another new hairplay video with her. I hope you don't mind the occasional doggy snoring and static here and there. I don't think it happens much more throughout the video. Filming these hairplay videos, it is difficult for me to know when the static is happening, but I don't like to cut out every bit that has the static noise because it removes quite a bit of the hairplay. When I have the earbuds in when I'm using the mic for other reasons, I can hear it and know where I have to redo something or re-say something. But I can't have the earbuds in my ears while I'm doing this. So sometimes we don't get any at all, and other times we do. And I'm convinced it has to do with the dryness of the air. So, because it's been so cold, the mic has been staticking quite a bit during lives and everything like that. But we'll see when summer comes around. I'm going to try to pay a little bit more attention to that. See if there's a difference. Because this is my new mic that I'm using, and it has a new cord and everything. it's a little confusing why it would still be staticking. But I wanted to share with you my weekend. I went away on Thursday to stay with my grandma. But before I did that, I went and got my hair done. And it's not as short as I wanted it to be. I don't know if I miscommunicated something, but I thought taking an inch off would make my hair, you know, a decent amount shorter. I told her like an inch to an inch and a half. And when she was done with my hair, I'm like, it's kind of the same length that it was before, even though I know she did a bunch of cutting. And so next time I think I'm gonna say an inch and a half instead of an inch to an inch and a half. Because I go every like 2 months to get my hair done. Because of the blonde in my bangs, I kind of just let the roots grow out longer than I probably should, but it doesn't bother me because of the way like the rest of my hair covers it. I can kind of get away with it for a little while. So my hair's going to be a little bit longer, I would say, by the time I get my hair done again. But it's okay. So after I got my hair done, I went to my grandma's, like I said, and I stayed with her for 3 full days and then the morning of Sunday. And the first day we went to the grocery store to pick up some things that we could make for dinner. And I think that's pretty much it. We ran, just to grocery stores. I think we went to 2 to find the things we needed. I feel like we went a few places that day, but maybe I'm just thinking about the multiple grocery stores. So after we ran to the stores, we went out to eat, and we had a late lunch, so we didn't actually need to have dinner that night. We just had a snack before we went to sleep. And we just sat with each other and relaxed. I spent the evening coloring in an adult coloring book, and that was a nice relaxing time. I had been a little stressed over quite a few things, but my hair that day after having it done, I think, is what set me over the edge and kind of made me like, what is the word? Easily agitated. It was not styled how I typically do it, and I was a little confused because the girl has styled my hair before, and I was just like fighting with it a lot. I even took my straightener and went over it, but in some places it just wasn't sitting how I wanted it to, and it made me think that there were errors in some places. So I had to wash it, of course, and then style it myself. And it's okay. I think maybe a little bit more bulk could have been taken off the fuller side, but it's okay, because if it continues to bother me, I can just have my mom kind of do that for me, since I have these shears, because I use them in my videos. So it would just be the texturizing ones that I would need to take over a little bit of the ends. Nothing too drastic, just a little full. So yeah, that was just hard to see with how she did my hair while I was there. Otherwise I would have told her that while I was sitting in the chair. Let's see. I think that was pretty much it for that evening. My grandma just did some financial stuff she had to work on, and then we watched a movie. And the next day, which would have been Friday, we had to go to an appointment for her, and after that we ran to the Home Goods and walked around for a little bit. She wanted to find a picture frame for this poem that a family friend did for my pa, and my grandma really wanted to hang that up in their office den area. And so we found a really good floating frame, and I helped her put that in the frame, and she was going to have someone else help her hang it up. And then that evening we made dinner. We made beef stroganoff, which is one of my favorite foods. And it was very yummy. It was like an easy version of it, or an easy version of making it. That's the same thing, right? Yeah, I think I said that pretty much the same. Anyway, it was so good, and it made a lot for the two of us, so I ended up bringing some home. And then we played a game. Another family friend accidentally broke our original Boggle game that we would play. That one was like the twist version, where they were all inside of the little plastic case, and you'd unlock it to shake them, and then you'd get them all into their spots. The letter cubes I'm talking about. You'd get them all into their spots and then twist it back down, and a timer would start. Well, I think something got jammed in it when it was being twisted shut. So a new one was purchased, and it's bigger. It's literally called Big Boggle. And you don't have the built-in timer. It comes with one of those little timers you flip over with the sand in it. Those make me think of the dentist's office, because they used to give us those. It was either the dentist's office or whenever they would talk about brushing your teeth in school, you'd get those little timers, those plastic timers. So that's what I think of every time I see those. But my grandma had an egg timer, and then another timer, and we ended up using the other timer to play. And instead of using the sand because I needed to be able to hear when it was done, otherwise I would just keep going. Boggle is one of my favorite games. It's just, I like making words. I like making really big words too, where you think you can't. I was very impressed with myself because I made the word taupe. And my grandma was like, "That, you did find taupe, you did." I'm like, "Yes, I did." There was another one that was kind of long too, but I can't remember what that one was. Anyway, after we played that, I sat down with her again, and it took us quite a while to find a movie. We were trying to find something we hadn't seen before, but that's always difficult for me. I don't have patience to sit there and search through Netflix and all that. My sister's really good at finding shows to watch by sorting through everything. But that's one of my least favorite things to do, is sit there and search for something to watch. So it took us a long time to look for something, and we couldn't settle on anything, so I asked my grandma if she had ever seen The Adam Project, and she hadn't. So we ended up watching that first, and that's a good movie if you haven't seen that. That is on Netflix. It's with Ryan Reynolds. And I really like that one. I think that was like the third time I've seen that movie. So she thought it was funny. I always get nervous showing movies like that to my grandparents, but I have to realize I'm not a child anymore, and I'm allowed to watch things where people are swearing. Is anyone else like that, where you're like nervous, or like the jokes, are kind of adult themed? Anyway, my grandma was laughing at it, so I'm like, okay, this is fine, this is okay. And she said she thought that one was really cute. And then we watched something else with Ryan Reynolds in it and The Rock. I don't remember what that one was called. Gal Gadot was in it too. I don't know what it was called, but we were just like, hey, we both like Ryan Reynolds, why not? Just, sure. So that's the other one we watched. I can't think of what it was, though. No, they were just trying to steal eggs. You probably know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. Like golden eggs. And then that was it for that day. It went by really fast, but I think that's because my grandma gets up later than I do, so I spend a lot of time just sitting in the guest room and working on my stuff in the morning, and then when she gets up is when we start doing everything, and the day just seems to go by super fast at that point. Yeah, I think that was everything from Friday. Saturday, we spent the day in, and we played more Boggle. We played it probably for longer than we realized, because no one was going to stop us. But yeah, we had breakfast, played Boggle, and then she asked me if I wanted to invite her friend over, and on that day I was kind of like, I wasn't in the best mood to be talking to people, but I do love her friend, so I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, and then I just decided it would probably be best if it was just the two of us and we were just relaxing, so that's how it ended up going. We then had our lunch lunch, of course, but it was pretty much snacky foods. It was like, we always have to have cheese and crackers whenever we're visiting. So that was that day's lunch. It was like cheese and crackers and some strawberries and kiwi. And then we had a little dessert of, I know we had chocolate donuts, like those little ones, but I can't remember if that's exactly what I had or not. I think so. And then we again looked for movies to watch that evening, and we just kind of sat with each other. I wasn't feeling super into doing much, but I did just want to spend time with my grandma, so that is what we did. Sometimes we're a lot busier, other times we're not, but usually we're quite busy when we're together. So I did some stuff on my iPad while she did some reading, and I think she was doing some other things she had to do. And then we found another movie that evening, and she was like, we should really find something we haven't seen before, and I'm like, you can try, but I don't know how that's gonna go. And so again, for a while we searched, and then I found out that she does have access to Apple TV, so I got very excited about that because I really like the movie Coda, and that is exclusive to Apple TV. So I asked her if she'd ever seen that, because it said resume on the account, and she said she hadn't, and so I was explaining to her that she's gonna have to like pay attention to the movie because people are signing and they're not always speaking, so in order to know what's going on you have to read the screen. And she was like, okay, I can do that, like that's fine. So she was doing stuff here and there during it, but we both watched it together, and she ended up giving me a hug after watching it, and she was like, that was a very good movie, thank you for sharing that with me. And I was like, you're welcome. But I just thought that was very sweet. My grandma is very into singing and music, and so I kind of felt like it was a good fit to share with her anyway. Because if you don't know about the movie, it's about a girl who grows up in a deaf family, and she is the only hearing person in the family, so she is the translator for them. Like, she grew up having to be the translator for everybody, and she discovers that she really enjoys singing because she joins the choir. I think it's originally because she's interested in a boy, but she did sing throughout the movie anyway. But she joined the choir and discovered that she really wanted to do that for her, and the family didn't understand at first, understandably. And once they saw the impact she had on everybody, they were all for her doing her own thing. It was, nerve-wracking for everyone, but they did finally decide, she should go do her own thing. And yeah, it's just a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I know I kind of ruined the plot there, but I think you'd still really enjoy it either way. It's, yeah, that's usually when people ask me what my favorite movie is, that's what I say, because I don't watch a ton of movies anymore unless somebody tells me about, something and they're like, you should really see this, then I kind of keep it in the back of my mind, so if it shows up on a streaming platform or so, then I do watch it. But I just find myself on YouTube a lot, watching a lot of different stuff, so movies don't always, like, I don't think about them much anymore like I used to when we didn't have streaming platforms and the internet where you can watch whatever. And yeah. So that was that evening, and we had a little dessert. Well, I completely skipped the dinner we had. We had this, it was like Italian angel chicken or something like that. That was super easy. You just made a sauce in a pot, put chicken in a, why can't I think of it, like a Pyrex dish, and then you put the sauce over the chicken and put it in the oven, and it was so good. It was so good, and it was so easy to make. So, I will, if anyone is interested in knowing what it's actually called, I will find out. Just ask me. But it was so good. And yeah, for dessert that night then we had carrot cake and ice cream, and there's just something about having cake and ice cream together. Like, not just side by side, but having a piece, like, on a fork or spoon, piece of cake, piece of ice cream, eating it. It's just, it's nice. I don't know. I really enjoy it that way, so that is what we did. And then we went to bed, and Sunday morning we got up early because my grandma is in her church's choir, and she needed to get to choir practice. And we headed home, and it was a decent drive. Pretty smooth. And when I got home, I had this burst of energy randomly, which I really thought I was going to be super tired from being away and everything. After I unpacked, I just felt like cleaning, so I went through my closet quite a bit, just pulled tons of stuff out, went through it, and then cleaned, and found things to get rid of. And yeah, and then this week has been alright, just trying to get back into the swing of things. And the video is about to end, so I would just like to thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to leave a comment or even just a like. Anything is helpful and shows support. And yeah, I appreciate you all very much, and I will see you next time. Bye!